Hey everyone, Satnam. My name is Elise and you're watching Satnam Spirituality. I am an intuitive tarot card reader and astrologer, energy worker, all of the things. And I got a message from Spirit to start sharing some messages about connecting in with our authenticity and helping people on their spiritual ascension journey, whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to look one way. Being spiritual doesn't look one way. And so this is just here for messages for folks who are looking to expand the connection with themselves and also with spirit and elevate themselves into a life of authenticity. What does authenticity mean? It's really about understanding who you are and how you want to show up in the world, which changes on the day-to-day basis. It can. Your vision, your value, your goals might shift in your lifetime, but it's connecting in with that and really sitting with that and seeing, checking in with yourself to make sure that you're in flow. And that's really where we want to be, is adaptable to change, not so rigid, not so focused on the outcome of things or have expectations. They say expectations are future disappointments. So this is really about how the collective can tap into their authentic selves, which is really their higher self. And our spirit is speaking to us to guide us along these paths. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand where things are at. And what I'm getting from the energy currently is we've gone through a lot of big changes and we're upon eclipse season again. And now the nodes are still on the Libra Aries axis, but they're very, very close to moving into the Pisces Virgo axis. So that's why we start seeing these things kind of start to shift. So we're about to go through a cycle where there's Pisces and a Libra eclipses, and then Aries and Virgo eclipses, and then it'll shift into being only Pisces and Virgo that the eclipses are taking place in. So this is our transition period. So if you want to take a look at the astrology, just see what house or houses these are falling into. They would have been falling into the same houses for the last couple years. It takes a little bit for the nodes to change. Takes about 18 years for them to come full back around to the original spot in your natal chart or for where they are right now. So that's the length of cycle that we're working through. And so this reading today here is really just to check in with the collective, do an introductory kind of video into where the energy is at. And I just feel that we're tired of struggling with the same things in our lives. And for the last couple of years, the astrology has really pushed us to outgrow these habits that are no longer serving us. So let's dive into the cards and see what they say. I just want to say, I am going to be working on my setup here a little bit. I got some stuff to get started, but just kind of doing some trial and error to see what works for me, different locations and stuff. So appreciate your patience as I kind of work through those things or kind of figure out what works for me and for you folks as well. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment below. All right, so these cards are really just going to kind of tell us where our soul ascension kind of journey is at, what the energy is that we're working through, coming up to the eclipses. Spirit for the collective. What are the messages coming into eclipse season? Yeah, interesting. So the first card we have is I Remember, which is your soul plan, your fated life. And it's like we're coming to this realization that Earth School, that we're there's something that needs to change in order for us to fall into a place where we are in flow and to be at ease in our life. And it's like I'm remembering that like our soul is kind of reminding us that we have things that we're here to do. And also when we get caught up in these cycles, it's like we can't bring other things to fruition, which not only impacts us, but also people around us as well, people that we interact with. It can be even just a common interaction that you have with somebody at the grocery store, right? Those small things can really make people think and change and shift. So it's like Spirit's like reminding us, hey, we're not meant to get caught up in this 3D stuff. Like we have other business to attend to. And so the next card that you have is called Earth Pulsing, and it's slow down, time and nature. And right after that, we have Star Brothers, which is Horus energy, protection, loyalty, trust, and safety. And so it's like universe is saying like it's okay to slow down. It's okay to really come into attuning to your energy where it's at right now. And I've been seeing like in the collective for people I've been giving readings to, but it's like we're coming to this place of empowerment. And the last card that came out was the Courageous Peony, which was let yourself be seen. You're multifaceted. And it's like Spirit's reminding us like we can do more things with our time if we're allocating it to things that are really bringing us happiness and fruition. It won't seem like such a chore. And as we go through this time of like slowing down, really remembering, really connecting in with ourselves, really coming into our authentic being, it's like we have this protection that's over us. And so things aren't going to get, if that is our focus, that's our intention, is to really come in and connect in with ourselves. You know, Spirit will step in and provide that safety net for you to land softly. You know, Spirit doesn't want us to suffer. And really it's our ego that creates our suffering, and like those expectations or feeling like things need to be a certain way, when really like Spirit is just bringing in blessings for us. And it might not necessarily look like it at first. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but you know, it's about that trust. And it's about also trusting yourself and trusting your connection in with Spirit to allow yourself to be seen. That's actually kind of funny because this is literally what I'm doing in this video. I have, like myself, I've kind of worked through some of these things already. I am part of the collective as well. And it is time, according to the astrology, to be moving into these things, but allowing yourself to become multifaceted. Like, where are the things that you have that bring you back into like that childlike enthusiasm? You know, that slowing down is like when you connect in with yourself, it's like, okay, well, like, if I had all the time in the world, what would I spend my time doing? And if you explore those things, there's a big message of, you know, Horus is also the eye, and also opening your eyes. I'm getting opening your eyes, and like, especially with this, let yourself be seen. And you're unique in and of yourself. And so, you know, one thing that I see sometimes with in the spirituality community is people have this idea around what does spirituality look like. And you know, is it somebody wearing linen pants with 1,000 malas you know, around, or is it you know, is it somebody with tattoos and their hair in dreads, or is it every single day, like everyday people that show up? And that your spiritual path doesn't have to look the same way. You don't have to meditate for hours in order to connect in with Spirit. You know, a really good habit that I'm trying to form for myself, and it's been really helpful for me to stay in flow, is just checking in with Spirit throughout the day. You know, we don't have to save our time to connect in with Spirit until, you know, the beginning of the morning and doing your morning meditation, or the evening. And it's really about like, how are, like, when you go into this with yourself, how are you letting your actual true nature to be seen rather than putting expectations on ourselves? There's just really something about getting in flow, you know, this pulse of the mother, slow down, this earth pulsing, and just really tuning back in with ourselves and checking in with ourselves, like, are our desires the same? Let me just get a message here from Kali Ma. And so this is the goddess of destruction. Yeah, rerouting. So as you can see, there is the earth chakra here surrounded by the lotus and the skull. So some of the imagery here, like the lotus comes out of, the mud to be reborn. And, and also as a sign of enlightenment, a lot of people use it as a sign of enlightenment. And we have our root chakra. So it's really grounding in this enlightenment. And with the skull, it's a remember of the passage of time, but also remembering that we are meant to ascend. So it's just really, again, like that rooting energy, really grounding into that, feeling safe, feeling seen, for who we are authentically, and whether that's outside of ourselves or within ourselves. Yeah, Chamunda at the bottom of the deck. She is very fierce goddess. Kali is in general, but she's very, very protective over the divine feminine energy as well, and also honoring our divine masculine while coming into this sense of feminine energy. So that's really interesting. Just gonna get some cards here and kind of see what comes out. But that she's not beholden to the masculine energy. She honors the masculine energy. So how are you honoring your masculine energy to be able to move forward and directing it in new ways? Excuse me. And while coming from the feminine, and the feminine is knowing when to wait, knowing when to take action, and the masculine is really about taking action, moving forward. Okay, so let's see what Spirit wants to say here. Going to ask about some advice right now. So we have the 8 of Wands, the Tower. We have the Magician and the Emperor. So this is the divine masculine energy coming up right in here. And also the Tower is a card from Mars, which is, the masculine energy, and Knight of Feathers at the bottom. Sorry, Knight of Swords. So there is this like fast incoming energy, this like change, this shift, this revelation, this thing that's breaking us down to our core. And going into eclipse season, definitely take a look at where this is showing up in your chart. But there's a lot of, it's like the things that we're wanting to manifest, right? Because the Emperor is definitely about control, about taking action towards our desires. But also in the traditional deck, the Emperor is actually sitting down. So he also knows when to take action, when to wait, pausing, slowing down. And it's like this manifestation is coming in for us. It's like we have all the tools that we need in order to make this shift, this release, this returning back down to our roots. There's a lot of like good communication that's going to support us as we move through this energy. And it's like we've been approaching this idea of control by tightening up on things instead of allowing ourselves to be in flow and allowing our creation, our manifestation power, understanding that we have everything that we need in order to create in our life. And now we're able to create that. And have that focus, and in order to like direct our life and to create the stability that we want. And the question that you can ask is ask yourself is, how am I fostering stability in my life? How am I showing up in a way that supports me? And that comes from a place of peace. If peace is something that I want in my life, how is what I'm doing in alignment with that to call that peace in? And what kind of behaviors do I have in order to be able to shift that? Okay. There's this energy of like winning at all costs, having a strategy. And it's like we've been so used to fighting, we don't, to get our way or to see how things come in. You know, we've never really allowed ourselves just to come into that state of flow. It's like, if I don't force this to happen, then it won't happen. Yeah, and it's about taking it slow. Definitely. With the Knight of Pentacles here. It's this Eight of Wands is really, really fast moving energy, but it also is easy communication is another big thing. And like, just the energy is there. It's Mercury and Sagittarius, right? So there's also a lot of like, you know, having this faith and stepping into that trust that not everything has landed yet though, right? And so how are we moving forward and sowing our seeds, right? Let's take a look at the Tower. A Temperance, yeah, coming into balance. So this Tower moment, bringing us into balance, bringing us into harmony, teaching us how to alchemize. You know, how do we both show up in our power, in our divine feminine and divine masculine energy at once, like, and just have it be a natural thing that occurs. Yeah. So the Magician, we have the Judgment card, or Awakening, and this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's beautiful. So I think it's going to be a surprise, this manifestation, when it comes in. You know, people are like, when you start to change, you're going to see that other people around you are more than happy to share in this prosperity. Like, you have the Nine of Cups, the Fool, and the Two of Cups here, along with the Three of Pentacles. So it's like you aligning with your higher self, which is what the Two of Cups can mean, is you and your higher self, right? Starts you on this brand new journey towards your wish fulfillment. And so this connection in with your higher self, working, collaborating with other people from that space with this Three of Pentacles, it's like this wake up call, you know, that in the original, the Rider-Waite Tarot, there's people like standing up out of their graves, right? They're being reborn. And after this Tower and with the Magician and the Fool here, there's definitely a rebirth moment that's happening. And it's like, when we come into this and we just allow for this to happen, you know, we remember our soul plan, then things start to just kind of flow with ease, and we're able to take those slow steps. You know, it's coming into trust with ourselves and the spirit, and it's not an easy thing to remain in that energy. Okay, with the Emperor, it's Ace of Pentacles. So bringing in this abundance, bringing in this solid new foundation right after the Tower comes here, and just stepping into that flow. And so right now we're being called to step into that flow and have allow these manifestations to come in. Yeah, Page of Wands. Just coming through with that childlike enthusiasm, coming back to that, you know, really rooting into that. So I'm just going to pull an archetype for the incoming energy. I am going to post lunar eclipse videos here over the next couple weeks, just in between eclipse season and then after. Remember that these energies are usually 6 months or longer to come to fruition. So think back even when we had our first solar eclipse in Libra. I do believe it was the first one was in Libra, and also any eclipses that happen on the Aries Libra axis. So, and see how much has kind of changed. Take a look at the house placement in your chart and see how that energy has really changed, and then take a look at the house placements of Virgo and Pisces, and so you can kind of start to anticipate where this is going to show up in your life. So what's the advice, Spirit? was waiting for that one. The Lady of Shallot. So illusion, victim, love, and idealism. So it's like being the victim is an illusion. When you step into your ownership of yourself, ownership of your actions, the accountability, that the things that are in your life are because you choose to have them there, ultimately. You know, stepping out of that victim mentality. When you're in a victim mindset, like we totally remove any sort of ability to empower ourselves with the decision or with any sort of change. And you can see here that she's resting, she's tranquil on this boat with the lantern there, and having this sense of an ideal world where we never have to have these things happen to us that we might not want, like, in our life. I mean, life will, of course, never be easy all the time, but how can we stay in that childlike enthusiasm, stay on course, stay focused with the Emperor here? How can we stay focused on the ideal state and consistently working to that? Because those distractions are just distractions, you know? At the bottom of the deck, which is kind of usually underlying energy, is usually how I read it. We have Nimue with respect, confidence, self-esteem, and opportunity. So total and complete opposite energy from this. This one has the love and the idealism on it, but to me it feels like a little bit of an immature energy here. And this is kind of stepping more in, and she's communing with spirit on this card. So this confidence, this self-esteem, this respect. So how are you respecting yourself in order to be able to take charge of your life? And you see she's holding spirit within her hand. She's holding all of her intention in her hands, and she is communing with spirit in order to be able to bring those into fruition. So she's stepping into her power here and having respect for herself and those around her, to act with confidence. Okay. So that's kind of it is the advice here, is to just move out of that victim mindset. This Tower is going to be showing up because it's just time to release those things. And I love these little cards. It's like the Friends of the Forest, or Forest Friends. They're super cute. Let's take a look. Just a closing message. That is a whole lot. Bottom is White Owl, insight. So getting this insight, getting the insight around how you want to change, how you want to show up differently, and really just kind of exploring that in your mental headspace around, if I showed up in a different way tomorrow, what would my day look like? So the first one here is watching the ducks, nurturing. Helping things grow is so rewarding. Whether it's a garden, an idea, or a tiny child, what can you nurture? Then we have Girl and Her Wolf, follow your dreams. If you have a dream, don't be afraid to follow it. Believing you can do something is half the battle. And as somebody making their first YouTube video, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, you know, and following your dreams. It's okay to reveal yourself, and then there's the let yourself be seen on this courageous peony. So if you've been feeling like the need to step into a more public role, it could be within your family, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to necessarily be like out and about, but just having that confidence. We also got the confidence here on the Nimue card, really grounding in that, yes, my soul path is something more than this. I'm not meant to be stuck in a negative headspace all the time. You have Rabbit Companions, which is trust. Love grows trust. Grow your self-love and watch your self-trust grow too. It's a beautiful message. And then I'm kind of getting the funny. So then we have Sleeping Fawn. which is nurture yourself. It's okay to take some time out. So we have the pause. You know, as you're going through this tower moment, it could be a really good time just to reflect. We're still in Mercury. As of the time I'm recording this, we're still in Mercury retrograde. So we would have just moved out of Mercury retrograde shadow period on the 11th of September. So you might have been getting some more clarity on how to best move forward. And also, since it's a lunar eclipse first, we would have had the new moon on September 2nd. So something here is growing, and I feel that this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is going to show us something new, because it's activating that new house in your astrology. All right. So those are your messages. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm just starting out, so it would really, really help me grow. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the collective changes and shifts as I continue doing readings, especially during this eclipse season. So thank you so much, Sat Nam, and I will see you later.